What's going on? This is your boy Gangstalked Talk with AJ, and I'm back with another video. All right, so in this video, I want to talk about homeless while being gang stalked. Now, I had a stint with homelessness when my gang stalking started at or around October 2012, and I was homeless up till, I would say, because I stayed in hotels, but I still think that's homeless. So I would say at times, I would say I was homeless until May 2014. So about year and a half, year and 7 months or so. I was homeless before that, but that was before I was targeted. But yeah, October 2012 to May 2014. So I had a stint with homelessness at that point when my targeting started it. I would honestly say it was, I would even say it go before that. I would say November 2011 to May 2014, so 2.5 years. So we'll start there. I got evicted from my apartment. So what happened was I signed I thought I signed a lease with someone. Now, did I know her well? No. So what ended up happening was that she was homeless apparently. And she knew the person that worked in the leasing office. So we ended up going in, and the thought pattern was that we were signing the lease together. So apparently, me being naive and dumb at the time and young, I signed my lease. They went in the office together for some reason, closed the door, and I thought she signed her lease. That was what the perception was. So apparently this girl didn't work. This girl didn't have nothing going on at all. So I was wondering the whole time, how was she going to pay her half? So the rent was getting paid initially. You know, I was working, and I think initially she had a few dollars and whatnot, and we ended up getting in or whatever. So I ended up, you know, I was working at a fast food restaurant at the time, and we ended up, you know, making it happen. So first month, cool. Second month, you know, kind of got it shaky. It didn't last long. So 3 months, you know what I'm saying? By that time, I found out that she wasn't on the lease. So I ended up contacting the leasing office, and we got into it. And then I called the police, and the police had to escort her off the property since she wasn't on the lease. End of story. So I ended up staying there another month, got through Thanksgiving and whatnot. I had a girlfriend at the time. She was staying there, off and on, you know what I'm saying, not full time, but got through the holidays. Right after the holidays, that Monday, following Thanksgiving, which I think was the 29th, I think, or December 1st, I'm sorry. So rent came around again, and get a knock on the door. I'm sleeping with her. We in the bed. I get a knock on the door. Them telling me that it's eviction day. You got to leave and whatnot. And I'm just like, damn. I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, bro. Like, I'm just like, what am I going to do? You know, and I didn't know what to do at the time. I ended up going to go stay. I ended up meeting somebody, you know what I'm saying, and this is a whole nother story time in itself, but I ended up meeting this guy that I knew, and well, not knew, but I ended up thinking he was my homie, but come to find out, man, this guy was just a clown. Ended up staying with them for a little bit. I got in a little trouble, a little situation with my ex, the girl I was with at the time. Got into a situation with her, and then ended up she ended up putting some what do you call it, a restraining order on me. And let me move because this weirdo parked beside me. Ended up putting a restraining order on me, and we ended up going there, and I didn't know I had a restraining order on me, right? Didn't know. So ended up doing that, and we ended up going through that, and I ended up contacting her because I guess when you put a protection order on somebody, which I did nothing to her physically or nothing. Never said anything at the time. But ended up doing that and whatnot. So I ended up contacting her over the phone. So apparently, me being young at the time, I didn't know I couldn't contact her on the phone. So I ended up contacting her, and apparently that violated it. So for the whole week, it was like a week. I think it was after the Super Bowl. They were contacting me. They were coming to the house trying to arrest me. That I violated the protective order. And we're gonna have to move around because I got some weirdo stalker parking over there. But they ended up contacting me saying that I violated the protective order. And so I ended up they came every day because I was going to work that morning. That entire morning I was going to work. So I kept going to work. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Come Friday, it's payday. It's my payday at my job. I went to go get my check, went to cash it, gave that bitch ass nigga my share of the rent, or the rent I was paying them, and we ended up and I ended up coming back, right? So what ended up happening was police came to the house, and I ended up getting arrested for that violation of protection order. Now I'm in jail from February, I think it was the 7th or something like that. From February 7th all the way to my bad, let me just stay right here. Let me film this video right quick. So from February 7th all the way to what was it? I think it was April something, or March. It was either the end of March. No, it was like 3 months. It was like 2 months. So it was it was February something, February I think 7th to the end of I think it was the end of April. April 23rd, 2000, what was that? 12. So end up going to jail. I got out, and mysteriously, I knew something was off at that point, but I didn't think nothing of it. I was going through a addiction as well, like to spice. And now if you know what spice is, don't get into stuff like that. Stay drug and alcohol free out here, man. I don't care if you're being gang stalked or not. Stay drug and alcohol free, people. It ain't nothing in doing drugs and drinking. It's nothing to it. It's actually a waste of time. But yeah, I ended up getting into that. Had a little addiction problem for about 7 months until I said, you know what, cold turkey after Thanksgiving 2012, I'm gonna quit. So I ended up quitting doing spice, cold turkey. From there, I ended up leaving that, from over there at the dude house that I was staying with at the time. We ended up getting into it. Almost gotten, well, we're gonna stay on track. So I ended up going to my family house for pretty much the month of December, and nothing but weird vibes there. My brother tried to fight me. I stayed in the living room. My mom, when I was sleeping, she was trying to do something when in my sleep, and then quickly ran out the door just to avoid seeing me, to avoid seeing her. So didn't stay there long. Me and my stepdad, we ended up getting into it as we did, a time before that when I was 15. So I ended up just leaving. I stayed in the area for about 3 more months, and that's when me and my old roommate, we had got into it. He called the police, told them I had a gun. They didn't find a gun, so they let me go. I went about my day. So after that, I ended up just so I say March 2013, I ended up buying me a bus ticket, or a bus ticket to California. Well, I went to PA. I went to Pennsylvania first, and then once I went to PA, I went up there and I was like, you know what? I went to Philly, and then I went to Philly first, explored Philly for a little bit, see what the vibes was like. Didn't like it. Went to Pittsburgh, left Pittsburgh, seeing what the vibes was like, and then I ended up getting a bus ticket through this program in Pittsburgh to go to California. Now, I went to California. Love California. I was supposed to go to San Diego via the Greyhound, but I ended up just getting off in LA. Stayed in LA for a little bit, enjoyed LA and whatnot. Vibe there, you know, and enjoyed it. I ended up staying predominantly like on the West Coast, and went to a couple cities in between. Traveled around for a little bit up California and up to Seattle and stuff like that, Portland. And just was like checking to see like where do I want to land, like where do I want to end up. And I didn't know at the time fully what was going on as far as being gangstalked. Didn't know. So, but I knew the vibes were weird. I got stories for days, man. I know that one time I ended up I was walking through a neighborhood in this city called Solana Beach, and I ended up getting the cops called on me. He took my ID, ran it in California, ran it all over the country. He was trying to find a warrant to arrest me. He didn't find a warrant. He gave my ID back, told me I had to leave. Okay, cool. But how I was getting by, like traveling and whatnot, what I used to do is, because I was a little different. Like when I was homeless, I always like worked. I always did like random work. Like I would go around cutting people's grass and washing cars if they needed it. I would even go as far as to get a job. Even a job, I'll stay at the job for maybe a month or two, wherever I'm at, if I'm there for that long and I need to garner up some funds, stack some money. I'll stay in a homeless shelter or anywhere on the street, and I'll save up my money, and that'll cover my traveling expenses, you know what I'm saying, going forward. And then I'll do that again, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, cover my travel expenses going to my next one, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was doing, like when I was traveling around, to be able to afford to do it. So I got to a point where I ended up back in LA. I ended up getting a job. My plan was to stay in LA at the time until I met, you know, the girl I'm with now. And I met her February 2014 right now. So ended up getting a job at a fast food restaurant. I was staying in a homeless shelter, and I met her over there but near the homeless shelter, and we started talking, getting to know each other. We got together in March. She was kind of when I was working, she would go, you know, downtown, do something, a job or something, and I would, you know, go to work and whatnot. And I would get a hotel 1 week in, 1 week out. Like I'll stay at the shelter for a week, and then stay in a hotel for a week. And I realized that pattern just ain't gonna work. So we got together, and I just told her like, hey, you know, do you want to come to somewhere else with me? You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit cheaper, and we can, you know, afford to, you know, live, you know. And she was like, yeah. She came with me. She never had a job up to that point. Never had a job in her life. So I ended up getting a job lined up in our new area. I saved up, I scraped up probably $330 that I had cash on me, and I had EBT at the time. So I scraped that up, paid for the I had the $330. That was to cover the hotel. That was cover the hotel and some food, or, you know, just to have some extra cash on me so I can be able to get to and from work, you know, when I was starting. So I ended up getting there. I had paid for the hotel for a week. Did not know I was gonna pay for the hotel after that. Did not know. So when I say I went into this like just blind, got us a hotel for a week, ended up getting my job. I ended up finding some side work to cover the hotel until I got paid, and then I ended up getting 2 jobs, and then that way I was able to you know, stack up some money to eventually get that apartment I got in May, because I ended up moving to the new city in April. So we ended up moving like April 23rd, 2024. April 23rd, yeah, 2024 is when we ended up moving to the new city. And I would say we stayed at the hotel for about a month and a half, 2 months. 2 months exactly. We moved in at the end of June 20th, 2014. So she ended up getting a job in the meantime at a clothing department store, and she got her first job. So we ended up working together, getting us an apartment, doing our thing or whatever. We got our apartment together. We not homeless anymore. And I don't know. I feel like sometimes at first I didn't trust her like that because I seen all the way people were doing me up to that point and what I was going through. So it took her, I ain't gonna lie, it took her about a year to kind of warm on me as far as like, can I trust her and can I rely on her? It took her a while. It took me a while. But we still rocking. 11, almost 12 years, about 11, 12 years later. We still here. But I found somebody, I could trust, throughout my journey. Have we had our moments? Absolutely. Will we have our moments? Absolutely. Are we perfect? No. But everything has just been, it's been okay. We've been growing together. We've been improving together. Everything has just been getting better. Everything has just been getting better, man. We stayed in the other state, except for about 9 months in 2016, from I think January to October 2016. We stayed there. We went to Houston for 9 months. We went to Houston for 3 months, or 2 months, and then went to LA for 7 months, back to LA. Realized it wasn't working, came back to our other state, and then we stayed there for 8.5 years after that, until last December, which December 13th would make, a year that we've been gone from there. So we, like, moving there was kind of like to grow, elevate, reset, what I'm saying, kind of get ourselves together and kind of just figure out like, what are we going to do long term? So we kind of used the area. It was pretty cheap. So we're able to live comfortably and then stack money or go to school, so we can build, our life. So when we felt, we stayed longer than we were supposed to, but we left when we were comfortable. When we were comfortable and felt good to leave, we just left. So I honestly feel like, let's see if he's still there. Honestly, I felt like we came a long way together. She's my best friend. Got 2 children together, and we together, man. Marriage is coming soon and whatnot, but we came a long way, man. And I'm thankful for her, and I'm thankful for everything that's going on in my life right now. And that's and I think that's kind of what made me kind of like, as I got older, I kind of just started not to pay attention to the people gang stalking me, and just because I realized that I have a purpose now. I have kids, so my kids got to be taken care of in spite of what these people are doing. So that's kind of what made me like kind of lock in and focus on, making sure that they're taken care of versus worried about these weirdos gang stalking me. But anyways, this is your boy Gang Stalk Talk with AJ, and that's my story about me being homeless, man. I kind of went a little deeper into it at the end. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and if you wanted to give your testimony and talk to me a little bit, let's do it. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. And check out my podcast, Day Cap with AJ. I filmed my first episode yesterday, and I appreciate everybody who tuned in up to this point. Everybody make sure you're subscribing to the channel when you pull up to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, it's free. Like the video. We want to push this content out in the algorithm, so that way, we're able to grow together, and we'll build a rapport. One day, eventually, I'll go live, and when I get time, because I'll be busy as hell, honestly. Especially when I get home and with the kids and stuff like that, and I'll be having other stuff to do, between work and stuff. So I'll make time, you know. But anyways, this is Gangstalked Talk with AJ. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace out, be blessed, and keep your head up out here. Don't worry about the circumstances. Don't let it ruin your day. I'm gone. Peace.